Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see everyone out there, at least as far as I can see. I can't see quite everybody, but I can hear you. Such a pleasure to be here. You know, the poet Maya Angelou once said, "My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style." I can't think of better words to describe our next speaker, the Cdfi Fund Director, Jody Harris. I've known Jody for a long time, and it's incredible for me to think that she's actually been working in the public and private sectors for over 25 years. She joined the Treasury Department in 2007. Actually, we came in at about the same time. She started out as an associate program manager with the Cdfi Fund and later served as my senior advisor and did just a fabulous job. During her time with Treasury, she has managed grant programs and developed legislative and policy proposals for a wide range of issues with a focus on access to capital, community development banking, and financial inclusion. Most recently, as the Director of Treasury's Office of Small Business, Community Development, and Affordable Housing Policy, Jody led a team of policy analysts in the development of policies and programs that support community and economic development nationwide. I am so pleased to introduce to you a colleague and a sister friend. Please join me in a warm welcome for the Cdfi Fund Director, Jody Harris.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm not sure if you know what it feels like to be introduced by someone who you admire so much. I am literally walking in Donna's shoes, and it's a pretty good feeling. So thank you, Donna, for that kind introduction. I also want to thank Lisa Mensah and the OFN Board of Directors for the invitation to join you this afternoon. It is great to have OFN in DC. It is also a true honor and privilege to be addressing all of you, the OFN membership, for the first time in my role as director. Thank you all for having me. I'd also like to thank OFN for inviting the Cdfi Fund to have a role in the conference planning. Yesterday, Cdfi Fund staff held open office hours and answered many questions from you on compliance, certification, and our various programs. Hopefully you had a chance to visit with us. If not, there are many Cdfi Fund staff in the room. If you could stand up and kind of wave a hand. So please do not hesitate to introduce yourself. In addition, we will be having a couple of sessions tomorrow. Yesterday was also a really great day and reminder of how fantastic it is that the Cdfi Fund is in its 25th year. We had a Community Development Advisory Board meeting on the actual day that the law was passed to commemorate the Cdfi Fund's 25th year, and we had fantastic panels who talked about the past 25 years and reflected on what the next 25 years would look like. I thought that was pretty good. But yesterday, I think Lisa gets the award for one of the best commemorations ever of the 25th anniversary of the Cdfi Fund. It was really nice to be in the room with all of you to hear the president's remarks. One thing I took away from President Clinton's remarks was the deep level of work, commitment, and dedication that went into starting the Cdfi Fund, and that goes into sustaining it for this last quarter of a century. I would be remiss if I didn't mention those that led the Cdfi Fund before me who are here today: Annie Donovan, Donna Gambrell, Maurice Jones, and Ellen Lazar, who helped pave the way and helped all of the Cdfi Fund staff who have been there for a number of years, or even those who have been there in the last few months, continue the charge. So thank you. assumed the role of director, I had the benefit of having a short learning curve when it came to operations. And so the team got to work immediately revising the program calendar after the government shut down. Where I realized I had the steepest learning curve was on learning what was going on in the industry. Trips into the field to meet and talk with CDFIs, CDEs, and investors in a dozen states have provided a valuable understanding and insight into how the industry is addressing some of the key issues of their communities. I learned how CDFIs are addressing community disinvestment, poverty, affordable housing shortages, unemployment, and access to capital at the community level. And most importantly, how you are endeavoring to have impact in your communities. Thank you for inviting me out to learn from you. Over these past months, I have also focused on ensuring that the Cdfi Fund continues to work toward the 5 goals in our 5-year strategic plan. First, we strive to increase the impact of Cdfi Fund Network by supporting the growth, reach, and performance of Cdfi Fund awardees. Second, we want to build the capacity of the Cdfi Fund and its network to better capture, produce, and utilize data to improve decision-making, performance, and accountability. Third, we hope to ease the customer experience and create on-ramps for new and emerging CDFIs and CDEs to access CDFI Fund programs. Fourth, we want to promote awareness of CDFIs in order to expand your access to new resources. And lastly, we want to create organizational excellence by increasing workforce engagement, enhancing our team performance, and improving operational efficiency. Fostering and facilitating the Cdfi Fund's commitment to these objectives is the beacon by which the Cdfi Fund continues to chart its course. The most tangible and immediate means by which the Cdfi Fund sustains and grows the impact of its mission-based lending network is through its assistance programs. Over the course of 2019, Cdfi Fund Assistance Awards continue to nurture the growth, reach, and impact of CDFIs, CDEs, and community development organizations serving distressed and underserved communities across the country. This year, the Cdfi Fund awarded more than $50 million in fiscal 2018 and 2019 BEA program awards to FDIC-insured institutions for increasing investments in CDFIs or in their own lending, investing, and service activities in the most economically distressed communities in the country. We guaranteed a $100 million bond guarantee issuance through our CDFI bond guarantee program. The Cdfi Fund has now issued more than $1.6 billion in bond guarantees through this program, and participating CDFIs have deployed in excess of $1 billion in bond loans. We distributed nearly $143 million in 2018 Capital Magnet Fund awards. The 38 awardees are expected to leverage these funds with an additional $5.5 billion in public and private sector awards to develop more than 25,000 units of affordable housing. We expect to announce roughly $130 million in fiscal year 2019 awards in early 2020. We also provided more than $9 million in technical assistance awards through our 2019 round of the Cdfi program and our Native American Cdfi program. Within the next 2 months, we will be announcing the 2019 Financial Assistance Award recipients for these programs. And lastly, we allocated $3.5 billion in new markets tax credits through the 2018 round of the program to 73 CDEs. And for the 2019 application round, which closes in a few days, we will announce awards by summer of 2020. Capitalizing CDFIs is at the heart of our mission to expand economic opportunity for underserved people and communities. We know that it's having an impact, and that impact continues to grow. I'm so happy to be able to just report on the impact the CDFI industry has in continuing to build on your impressive record of investment. This year, Cdfi program awardees financed more than 19,000 businesses and the development of more than 51,000 units of affordable housing. Over the past 10 years, since 2009, Cdfi program awardees have lent or invested more than $55 billion, financed more than 200,000 businesses, and finance the development of more than 270,000 units of affordable housing. In addition, since the inception of the New Markets Tax Credit Program, CDEs have leveraged investment in low-income communities that have created more than 830,000 permanent and construction jobs, financed the construction of more than 218 million square feet of commercial real estate, and provided financial counseling and development services to more than 820,000 businesses. Y'all have been busy. The growth curve of the Cdfi activity over the past several years has been impressive. From $3.6 billion of reported lending activity in 2016, $5 billion in 2017, $11.1 billion in 2018, and now in 2019, it is at $21.5 billion. It's safe to say that maintaining momentum has not been an issue. I think somebody's banging on the table, so if you want to clap, you can clap. However, this level of growth only underscores the level of need and demand that exists in distressed and underserved communities across the nation. A pervasive disinvestment in people and places excluded from the nation's economic mainstream persists throughout the greater financial services system. During our Community Development Advisory Board, there was an acknowledgement that much had been accomplished over the past 25 years since the Cdfi Fund was created. However, communities across the nation continue to be challenged by ongoing and persistent poverty. These are rural communities, urban communities, communities of color, Native American communities, and far too many that are unable to access the banking system. While the Cdfi industry has grown and total assets of the national network of roughly 1,100 Cdfis is now over nearly $160 billion, this not even count for a rounding error for the total assets of FDIC-insured banks and NCUA-insured credit unions, which is in excess of $20 trillion. CDFIs are still but a fraction of the financial services industry. So we all need to enable each other and community development organizations to continue to effectively reach these communities of need. We need to extract maximum leverage without sacrificing sustainability. And one way to do that is to increase Cdfi access to the Cdfi Fund's programs. Ensuring Cdfis are able to effectively access the full range of Cdfi programs, leverage resources and capital beyond just the Cdfi Fund, and expand and grow into areas of deeper distress requires the Cdfi Fund to continue to build the capacity of the Cdfi network. That's why this year, the Cdfi Fund relaunched its capacity building initiative. There are a few components of this that I'd like to highlight. In order to develop a comprehensive training curriculum, we surveyed you all to see what you thought you most needed to learn. What you told us in some ways reaffirmed what we thought we already knew, and in others proved to be very enlightening. What you told us is that you all generally define success through your financial and operational indicators, as well as your mission outcomes. You all experience similar challenges and outcomes to achieving success. But assistance and training is needed in two areas that you highlighted. First, in the fundamentals of Cdfi operations, strategic planning, developing financial management policies and procedures, risk management and mitigation, as well as loan portfolio management. And the second area you highlighted was facilitating growth, innovation, and partnership, such as maximizing the use of partnerships with nonprofits, developers, and governmental organizations. Most eye-opening for us was that while CDFIs indicated capacity building is needed, you also indicated that sometimes the Cdfi Fund is not in the best position to provide it. Instead, you all learn from peers, professionalized technical assistance providers, industry groups, and foundations to build capacity. The OFN conference is a great example of the peer-to-peer learning that you all engage in. So this coming year, we're going to be working on a training and assistance opportunity that leverages peer networks and expertise that already exist in the Cdfi network. This training will be available to the greater Cdfi and mission-based lender community. And we fully expect that it will encompass all of the elements that you raised and those touch points that you highlighted in your survey responses. I should also mention that the CDFI is supporting 2 other capacity building trainings on specialized topics, which launched earlier this year. One is to provide Native CDFIs tools to enhance their management and operational capacity, as well as to showcase Native CDFI best practices. The other is aimed at increasing the number of CDFIs serving individuals with disabilities and ultimately increase the impact and reach of CDFIs in the disabled community. Finally, it was this time last year that we mentioned coming revisions to the CDFI certification application. To refresh your memory, although I think most of you are pretty well-versed on all the stuff we've been saying about certification, more than 2 years ago, the CDFI Fund undertook a process of examining policies and procedures used to certify CDFIs. And these policies and procedures have remained unchanged since the CDFI Fund was established 25 years ago. We undertook this process to ensure that our certification policies allow CDFIs to respond to and succeed in today's environment. Ensuring that our CDFI certification measurements and practices are adequate to enable the growth, reach, and performance of the CDFI network has been a difficult process, but it is a process that we want to make sure we get right. So we're taking our time to finalize the changes to the certification application, and we will release those changes for public comment. In the meantime, the existing certification policies, as well as the annual recertification procedure, will still remain in effect. The CDFI Fund will continue its work to preserve the impact the CDFI network has achieved and to sustain the momentum we have built to generate economic opportunity in America's distressed and underserved communities. Thank you so much for having me this afternoon. It's been a pleasure to join you all here and to honor the work that we all do together and to ensure that the CDFI industry remains robust and responsive to all of the challenges we may face. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and thank you.
Thank you, Jody. The CDFI Fund is in good hands under your leadership.